Healing. Healing can be understood as being healed from a specific physical or mental ailment and thereby feeling well. Healing can also be understood as a way of responding to life's pleasant and unpleasant experiences while remembering the wholeness that already lives within us. In any case, healing may occur in a moment of presence by a gentle touch, an empathic word, a warm glance, a specific scent, a taste, a sound, a beautiful image, a treatment, or any other experience for the right person in the right situation. All of these different ways of healing have one thing in common. They all vibrate. Even silence has a vibration. When a vibration feels true to a person, it resonates with their body-mind and healing begins. Basically, even the subtlest spontaneous happening or action may facilitate healing in the body if it resonates with the person. In knowing this, many different healing ways are possible and needed. I believe that the most successful healing ways are those which are given as acts of love, regardless of the form they take. How is it to feel whole and even completely healed? I guess there may be different answers to these questions, also if we ask the same person at a given time. It may be a feeling of physical, mental, relational, social, spiritual well-being, and even it all at all times. A state of inner peace and bliss. However, since life is unpredictable and the body and the surroundings are ever-changing, it is hard to believe in being free of suffering of any kind at all times. Also, we heal through our suffering, so we may discover that simply through living we are healing. Knowing this, we may ask ourselves, what is the meaning of our existence? It is a big question that we can reflect on or let go of. Seeing oneself as a part of something much greater can be liberating if we are stuck in suffering of the limitations of our body. Also, it is of great help to realize that we are here together, facing the same existential and emotional challenges. Sooner or later we all experience fear, loss, and death. At best, we may reach a state of acceptance of what we experience, feel, and manifest, which also implies periods of suffering. In this understanding, healing is a way of living and responding to life, rather than a goal. What we fundamentally are is beyond our physical form and beyond words to explain. Realizing this brings a blissful inner peace. However, suffering still occurs. The difference is that we may respond to it in another way and trust that life takes care of life. This is of great relief, especially in situations where we feel sad, sick, and lonely. Basically, we are all connected, and we are always connected, and we need each other to experience life. This is why we are here together. We are all experiencing suffering in life. The question is how we respond to it. With an intention to create more clarity about healing and responding to suffering, I will describe some healing ways that are actually much more complex than can ever be explained. Healing in body and mind are occurring in many different ways at the same time. Nevertheless, I will try to give a comprehensive view of what I have discovered by the following approaches, knowing that they are not complete. All we experience in life are influencing us all along. The physical way deals with changes in cells and organs on the structural level and describes chemical and physical processes. It refers to what can be seen, felt, measured and weighed with the current of available methods. It usually aims to remove, change or replace what is seen as permanent to provide relief of suffering. It has an impact on the psychological as well as functional well-being. 2. The functional way refers to function of the body and our relation to each other. The intention of this level is to regain physical functions and social abilities. It has an impact on the psychological as well as physical well-being. 3. The personal way relates to identification with certain roles, habits, ideas and feelings. Changes on this level may also be experienced on the physical and functional level. For example, if we are stuck in frustrations, it may be measured as physical changes in the body, such as elevated blood pressure and increased stomach acid. Further, communicating in such a state of being is usually problematic, so our relations are also affected. A direct understanding of the connection between the psyche and the body's physical reactions is offered in the chapter Stressed in this book. 4. The conscious way includes awareness of the mechanisms of the other ways, such as the functioning of the body and the self-limiting beliefs and emotions we are attached to on the personal level. Still knowing that we cannot be fully aware of everything at all times. At best, we can experience glimpses of awareness of these interconnections. Therefore, we are still experiencing suffering, no matter how conscious we believe we are and how many different and qualified treatments we may receive. Nevertheless, there are many people who are increasingly aware of the ever-changing and utmost complex body-mind and the ability of the body to heal itself. They are usually also aware of how our surroundings reflect unconscious aspects of ourself. Thus, by changing the way we relate to ourselves, our surroundings may change as well. 5. The spiritual way goes through surrendering to that which is greater than human beings. It comprises mysterious and intuitive ways of healing, and trust in life takes care of life. If we live by the truth that basically we cannot control life and primarily follow our intuition, we let go of the resistance that lies in struggling against the unpredictability of life. I guess many people have already experienced that no matter what kind of treatment they have received, symptoms tend to pop up again in the same way or in another form. No one can really tell if we are completely healed until the end of life, since every day brings new happenings and new changes in body, mind, and the surroundings. The possibility of remaining healed for an entire lifespan is barely realistic, but accepting healing as a journey is in itself healing, as our expectations in terms of healing within a predetermined, stressful time frame disappears. The most obvious way to healing seems to be awareness and surrendering to the spirit of life. However, to choose this way also requires courage and strength on the personal level. In this way, all ways are interconnected and has an impact on each other. To understand how we heal at the physical level through awareness, we must know that we are more than our body and mind. Also, we must realize that we are energetic beings. If we contemplate on our existence, we may discover that basically we are formless consciousness having a transient form. The body can be regarded as an instrument in order to experience life. Also, we may realize that everything is interconnected and origin from one and the same source. In this understanding, we are already whole. Anyway, healing happens a little by little all along, whether we are aware of it or not. Our experiences of being healed from time to time seem to be a part of life. Through the personal unconscious ways, we may gain glimpses of insight as to why we react the way we do. And through this awareness, healing happens. Also, healing happens easier when we recognize and accept emotional pain. If we resist, it creates contraction in the body, which intensify the pain and postpone healing for a while. Healing through spirit is impossible to achieve with our will. It involves a realization of that we are more than our mind and physical body, and that we are all connected on an impersonal level of awareness. Usually it is helpful to start accepting all that arises in us of thoughts, feelings, and sensations. If we deny what is actually happening, resistance and suffering arise or increase. Healing through spirit also involves making more conscious choices when we become aware of that which we are able to change and accept everything that we cannot change. In other words, opening our hearts to ourselves and to life without judging ourselves and each other when we feel stuck, since it worsens the suffering. Remembering that we may be able to pull the horse to the trough, but we cannot force it to drink unless violence is used, and violence does not lead to healing on all levels. Kindness and love towards ourselves and each other are important in every situation. To heal a human is to facilitate an energetic process. It may happen if the healer as well as the person to be healed are open and ready for it. The healer is not in control of the process. He or she is simply available for a greater awareness. The same is what happens when we heal ourselves. We let go and let in. Later on, we may gain some awareness of the process. To some extent, We are all healers by the way we are and what we do and express, either we are aware of it or not. Conventional healthcare predominantly approaches healing on the physical and functional level, and treatments are primarily with medicine and surgery. The psychological level is separated from the other levels, although some professionals intuitively take care of the psychological level as well. The conscious level is almost absent, except in those cases where cognition and mentalization are offered. These methods are opening for a greater understanding. However, if the emotional level is untouched, the awareness remains on an intellectual level. This is why it is insufficient just to tell ourselves to stop smoking, drinking, and overeating. It is also necessary to feel and know why we are attached to a certain behavior and realize how it feels without this behavior. From an evolutionary perspective, it makes sense that the physical and functional aspects are addressed first and foremost, if we believe that life is primarily about survival. Along the way, we have distanced ourselves from the formlessness of life, the incomprehensible mystery of life, that which could be called divine. This is understandable, since in the name of God it has been abused by various powerful religious and ideological leaders. Also, we have distanced ourselves from many of our emotions caused to fear and shame associated with showing certain emotions. As it is right now, most humans are identified with the body-mind and are suffering from a desire to be in power of the body-mind, not knowing that basically they are not in control. However, humans evolve fast, and increasingly many humans are aware of the formlessness of life. Many have experienced that there is more to life than what appears at the physical level. Some speak about near-death experiences and miraculous and spontaneous healing. These experiences are reducing the fear of physical death and are empowering us to live with the life changes that are continuously happening in us and in the universe. The winds of awareness arise, and when united with compassion, they provide an inner peace that is necessary for us to experience peace in the outer world. In the following chapters, I will explore more deeply into these 5 ways of healing. This may provide a greater understanding of the value of each of them and how each of them contributes to healing.